Hello everybody, welcome to Gringineer Cycles YouTube channel. Today we are going to be looking through the frames we have in stock at the moment. I'm going to be pulling out some select few that are my favorites, or they're just really cool, and just showing them off because vintage mountain bikes are cool. And road bikes. We actually do have some vintage road bike frames that are super cool in the mix too. So I'm just going to start pulling some down and talking about them, and we'll go from there. We did alphabetize the whole rack, which is awesome. So now they're a little bit easier to track down and find. So there's 60 frames here. Not all of them are listed online because some still do need work, but this is also just the easiest way to store even the non-listed ones. So the frames are a little bit of a mix if they're listed or not. But we are going to try to get all of these listed. That's always the goal. There'll be a link to our website below where all the listed frames will be listed. And we do ship frames, free shipping in the continental United States, and we ship to Europe and Australia and everywhere else. Just there'll be extra shipping charges. But let's get started looking at some frames. So first up, we have a really cool Barracuda A2 Fast. So this is a steel full suspension frame. It has the Three Amigos sticker on it, which when you're buying Barracudas, this shows that they were being made by Barracuda before it was sold. I can't remember exactly who it was sold to, but it was sold to a big corporation. So this is one of the earlier ones. This is a 1994 Barracuda A2 Fast. So blue is my favorite color. So this one has really caught my eye because I love the blue paint, and just the shape of it is just real slick. So this is a really cool frame. This one is a 18.5. So if you're looking for a kind of vintage cross-country ripper, this could be the one. Obviously, you can't talk about cool vintage frames without talking about Bontrager. So this is a Bontrager Privateer Comp. She's a little beat up here on the top tube, but no dents or dings. Still has the bolted on chain keeper. So this is a cool frame. It's got the good B-Paw Bontrager head badge on there. This one is a 17-inch. This is a Privateer Comp. Cool frame. So here's one that we are actually going to be getting listed in the next few days. This is a Breezer Storm. Again, super cool blue color. This one is in really good condition. Normally, the unfortunate thing that happens with Breezers is the logos like to peel off. It seems that they're put on above the clear coat. I actually have an example I will show you. So this is a Storm. We plan on getting this one up on the site in the next few days. But talking about the logos, you can see on this Breezer Thunder right here, the logos are all chipping off. That is a very common Breezer issue that we find when we find Breezers. The paint can be in great condition and the logos can be chipping off. Now this one has some rough spots in the paint, but I've seen them where the paint is great and the logos are still peeling off. Yeah, they're even worse on this side. And and that's above where there wouldn't be much like leg rub or anything way up here. So the logos unfortunately just peel off on these Breezers. But so this is a Breezer Thunder, 1-inch. Now people might not think of Fuji when they think of nice vintage mountain bikes, but these Fuji Sundance SX frames, which are meant for full front suspension. True temper, double-butted frames, made in the USA. We have two of these. We have this gray one and a blue one, and they're just really nice, well-constructed frames. They have Ritchie dropouts. It's like the right style kind of dropout. So just all together, nice frames. The side of the top tube cable management. So yeah, they're good frames. So we have two of these. We have a blue one and this gray one up on the site right now. Here's another great one. Everybody needs a shiny chrome / shiny aluminum mountain bike, and this is a aluminum Gary Fisher Mount Tam, 1994 Mount Tam. So this would have been by the time Trek would have had purchased Gary Fisher, but this is a really cool frame. 1.25 inch head tube on this, so we do include the headset because they are hard to track down. In good condition, shined up. So it's pretty polished, but if you put some elbow grease into this, it'd probably blind you if you rode it outside. So super nice frame, built-in derailleur hanger, but she's in good condition, so we don't have to worry about that. So yeah, just great frame. So continuing with Gary Fisher, we have a 1996 Procal LTD. So this is full carbon. So this is one of we're looking at some of the first mass-produced carbon frames here. This was made in the U.S. with Trek's OCLV tubing. And the thing I just learned about OCLV tubing is that it was a process that sucked the air out of the carbon tubing. So it was kind of Trek's not copyright, but trademark method. So this is a cool frame. You can see how the brake bosses are bonded onto the frame. And yeah, so this is a 17.5 Gary Fisher Carbon Procal. Now we'll continue down to the second row. Well, we for sure got to talk about this one because great shape. This is a Haro Extreme elevated chainstay. This thing is massive. This is a 21.5 inch, so it's a big bike. Only one bottle cage because of the crazy triangle and shape going on, but that rear wheel is tucked in super close to make a really short, agile bike. Cool thing about this bike is it has a bike shop sticker. Let's see if that... Bueller's Cyclery and Fitness, Wausau, Wisconsin, 1992. Super tiny head tube. I mean, that's probably 80 or 90 mils, which is cool because every time a fork gets cut, the steer gets shorter, so this thing would allow you to run lots of different forks. So unfortunately, I don't have any cool pre-Trek Kleins in at the moment, but we do have this Klein Palamino V full suspension. This is a medium, so 2004 medium. And I mean, the thing that's radical, it's a little bit easier to see on this side. The thing that is radical about these frames is the way this is a proprietary shock, and if you see how it tapers down and then bolts in down here so that you can get tire clearance. So the shock, the body of the shock is also part of the frame, I guess would be the way to describe it. And then, the pivot, an E-type front derailleur. And the E-type front derailleur has this crazy cable guide bolted to it for your cable management on the frame. So that's a pretty cool frame. And again, Another company you can't help but not talk about is Kona's. So this is like early Kona lava dome, 20-inch. I wasn't able to exactly pinpoint the year on this one, but it's early 90s. But yeah, this is a cool frame. Konas are always cool. We've had explosives and other higher end Konas over the years, but I feel like Konas are one of the faster selling frame brands that we get into the shop. Good solid bikes. This is now we're moving into the M's. This is a Marin team issue with Tange Ultimate Superlight MTB tubing. That is a mouthful. She's pretty light for how big it is. This one also has a bike shop sticker on it, which is super cool. And this one is from the Cyclery here in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. So this one was sold not too far away from the shop, like an hour and a half, 2 hours. You know, some paint chips, and it has that kind of oh, I'm titanium, but I'm not titanium paint job. That kind of like silvery gray. It was a thing I feel like a lot of companies did in the mid-90s to their bikes to make them look like titanium. But all around a nice frame, you know, paint chips, but no dents. Has the cable routing up here on the head tube, which is always a cool feature that I like. You don't get any cable rub because the cable stops right here at the head tube. Another interesting one from a smaller brand, Navara. So this was probably most likely made for Navara by a different company, but I haven't yet been able to track down all of the information to figure out who made it. So this is a Navara team. Lugged seat tube to the junction is lugged. Everything else is tigged. Has these really cool cable stops on the top tube. It's got a little bit of rust in it too that I need to take care of. But this is Prestige MTB butted tubing, made in Japan. Varabarai. So the fork, the brake bosses on the fork were broken off or bent off. So we have the fork getting repaired on this one. And then once that's back, we'll get this up on the website. So yeah, Navara team. Pretty cool frame. It's a little heavier. There's a bottom bracket in it, which is also stuck. So that's another project. So you'll see here, somebody broke off the cup. So we will start to soak that and work on getting that removed. Okay, now it's on to the other side. Oh, this one for sure. For our friends up north, we would have to talk about a Rocky Mountain. So this is an Element TO, full suspension. Gotta love the maple leaf logos. A little bit newer because we do have disc brake tabs on here. So this is probably early 2000s. But just an all-around cool frame. This is a 16.5, so it's a little bit on the smaller side. Fox vanilla float, but aluminum Easton ultralight tubing. But just really radical paint job. I love the maple leaves. So here we have a Scott Team CST. This is also made with Tange Ultimate Ultra Prestige. Hold on. Tange Ultimate Ultralight Prestige tube set. Again, a mouthful. But cool purple. Love the orange decals. Has a really nice built-in canty stop. Paint chips. Has the roller for front derailleur. Cable pull. Just an all-around, it's a little dusty. Designed in the U.S., tested in Sun Valley. Well, now we're to the big S, Specialized. So this is a Specialized S-Works M2 in the tangerine orange color. World Champion. It's got the World Champion sticker on it. S-Works head badge. These are cool frames, nice and light. This color's great too. I feel like it's not a color you see very often in the bike scene. We get a lot of that like really bright orange, like pumpkin orange, but this is more like dull and maybe not as loud. Cool features. You get the S logo in the dropouts, which I think is cool on the drive side too. So yeah, handmade in the United States. See that right there? So super cool frame. This one is a 97 and it's a 17-inch. Here's another cool specialized frame. This is an Alays Epic. So this is the carbon tubes, aluminum lugs, 56 centimeter. So this thing is a work of art, I think. Just the way the lugs and the carbon tubing and everything, it's just awesome. Love the big specialized logo. Something about having a bike that says Epic, I mean, it's epic. So this is a super cool bike. Unfortunately, the fork was screwed up. The threading was all screwed up. Somebody had threaded the headset on, cross-threaded it. We tried to chase and fix the threads, but it had just been worn that way for too long and wasn't savable. So it wasn't long enough to be cut to continue with this frame. So it's just a frame, but super, super light. And I mean, I think this could be built up with even modern components. It would look really cool just because it does look so futuristic. So this one's not listed yet, but we do have a similar Trek 950 listed. This is an 89 or a 90 lugged Trek steel frame. I love the white and pink decals, pink bottle cage to match. This one's still dirty because it just came in and needs a bath, but this one will be going up on the shop as soon as it gets a good old cleaning. So cool frames. I love the older Trek 950, 900 series frames, but preferably the lugged ones. But some of the older, later ones had some really cool paint jobs, like the green to purple fade, etc. Don't bash it just because it's a Trek. They did have some cool frames. Okay, here wasn't gonna do this one. I mean, who wants a Yeti, right? But no, this is a Yeti Arc active suspension disc brake frame. The shock needs some working, needs some help right now. So this one's not up on the site, but as soon as we get the shock functioning, we'll be getting this one listed. 1.25 inch head tube, you know, can't go wrong with the Yeti. Even these newer ones are just cool, reminiscent old paint jobs, and sweet machine. So as soon as we get this shock working, we'll be getting this one listed. But yeah, a Yeti active suspension, Softail in non-Yeti speak. We also can't not talk about titanium. So this is a Lightspeed made titanium 26er. Not sure who they made it for. It has a Park Pre sticker, has a Salsa sticker. Both those companies did have titanium frames made by Lightspeed and other brands. Could also just be a Lightspeed one that was stickered up. But either way, Lightspeed tie frame. I do really like this cable guide on the top of the seat tube. I think that's a cool feature. But it's a sweet bike and light. The tube, you know, they ovalize the tube where they weld them into the bottom bracket shell. So if you didn't have a sticker, that's one way you could tell it was a Lightspeed that they do that. So cool frame, can't go wrong with titanium. This is an Indie Fab Team cross bike. So this is in team colors. This was a local Minnesota cyclocross racers bike. This thing is cool. We do have the matching fork, so this one will be going up on the shop as a frame set. Another great paint job. You can't go wrong. Indy Fabs are cool. I have an Indy Fab Tie Deluxe that I turned into a gravel bike. They're cool frames, and you know, started by some of the guys who left Fat Chance and didn't want to leave to go to New York. So lots of history in the bike industry. So that's this beauty. So that is a rundown of the frames that we have in at the shop at the moment. A good portion of them are up on the shop, and the ones that aren't, we're going to be working through them now that we kind of got them up here and they're in our face. We know we got to get them cleaned and listed. So they'll be going up on the shop too. Hope you liked this video and you loved all the sweet vintage bikes we showed off. As I mentioned, there'll be a link to the shop below, so if anything caught your eye, make sure to go check it out, and please reach out if you have any questions. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.